Hi everybody, it's Colette Baron-Reid. Welcome to this week's Oracle card guidance and lesson. And oh my goodness, I am still coming down from the big high from last weekend. It was the most incredible thing, right, Bizou? You weren't there, but oh boy, we had to build a whole set at a TV studio. I had bigger hair. We just piped in all these people from 51 countries. I mean, it was amazing. We had no idea it was going to be like this. We had 60 people. We had 60 people behind the scenes helping. We danced. We were dancing, and I did readings for people and pulled people up on it was just, I can't even tell you. It was just so amazing. So Oracle Palooza Virtual will be a once a year thing now for us. And as it was before where it was live, we were so successful. It was so fantastic. People loved it that we're going to do it again next year too. So if you didn't get to come, maybe next year you'll decide to check it out because it was wild and amazing. So let's move on now, and we're going to be using the 7 Energies Oracle. I'm so proud of this Oracle deck. I'm so happy. We used it all weekend. Now, instead of doing 6 cards every week, I'm going to do 7. Makes sense. 7 energies. 7's a sacred number. So I'd like you to pick a number between 1 and 7, just off the top of your head, and write it down. Now, I'm going to tell you the story of all 7 cards. So I've already laid them out because this is a different deck. And by the way, this deck is never reversed. So you don't have protection cards in this deck. We actually have 7 shadow cards in the deck. So let me tell you the story that all of us are going to be kind of processing our own way this week. And it's a good one. So the first card represents the energy of the authentic self. So that's the 5th energy center, which relates to communication. And it's called Shining Through. And it's a gorgeous card that reminds us that when we shine on behalf of the divine, right? When our authentic self is shining through, we shine on behalf of the divine. We're not ego-based. And we know what that feels like when we feel inspired and we really do feel like we're not trying so hard. We just are, and we express that being inside of us, that higher self without effort. And that's kind of the theme for this week, is how do we communicate who we are to the world? Now, the card that's flanking that is Time Machine. Now, this is the card that brings us to the attention of the 1st energy center, which reminds us that we are influenced and conditioned by our past. That's what Time Machine reminds us. Reminds us as well that we have ancestral patterns, things that we don't even know is going on. So when we have Shining Through as our authentic self, we also have to be mindful of the things that are not ours. Like, for example, if you have certain behaviors or thought processes that really are not your own, this is a week to kind of take a look at that. Like, geez, is this a conditioning that I have, or do I really feel this is to be true for me? And the reason I brought that up is because the 3rd card, I call it the creepy Pinocchio card. It's called A Tall Tale. And that's also in this energy center of communication. And it reminds us that we sometimes could be lying to ourselves about our view of ourselves. Say, for example, that you were victimized when you were young, and you still kind of had this expectation that something shitty is going to happen to you. So you sort of create these scenarios without even knowing you're the one doing it, because you can't blame yourself, but you might be attracted to circumstances, or you might equate circumstances with, oh, see, this always happens to me. So we want to be very mindful this week to take a look at those things. It's a beautiful week post our full moon last week, to really kind of go into that inventory of like, yeah, what is it else that I want to release? Because this is another soft week to do that, and going, wow, that was really illuminated for me this week, all this resistance I had to moving forward. And I see myself how I've been taken hostage by my own stories. Why do I say that? Because the next card is Storyteller. So Storyteller is about the 3rd energy center. And this is about the story that we tell about our authenticity. So it's like, well, who are we uniquely in the world? So we don't have to keep telling the same story about ourselves to ourselves or to others. We can step into the power of our own purpose, which is the next card, the power of purpose, by being the most authentic version of ourselves that we can and being willing to take a look, to heal the heart, to look at where do we need to forgive ourselves and others for whatever story that we continue to tell about ourselves. Now, we know that this pandemic has brought everything to the surface, and now that Mars is in retrograde, and it will be till the end of the year, there tends to be a kind of more aggressive way, and that kind of the god of war has stepped onto the stage. You know, we can be at war with ourselves. So this is really less about other people, because frankly, at the end of the day, however we behave towards other people is a reflection of what we believe internally. It's got nothing to really do about anybody else but ourselves. So this is a beautiful time for us to refocus and say, you know what? Yeah, I don't want to put any more energy into that story. I want to tell a new story. And that's actually what we spent the whole weekend doing last weekend, is really understanding what story that we tell out into the world. And, oh, there's a fly. That's good. The flies are actually pretty cool. The spiritual symbol of a fly, because flies will eat garbage, right? They'll go to the garbage and eat it. And just like the vulture says to you, nothing is wasted. So I think it's kind of cool. We never have flies in our house, so we have a fly, and my dog hates flies. But, you know, wandering around in front of the cards, because it reminds us, don't make it a blaming thing. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for shoving the fly at me. Like, it's not about blaming. There's nothing is wasted. Even if we do see that we have created trouble for ourselves for no reason, or we've created trouble from ourselves because of our projections, like, we got to really be light on ourselves. We have to love ourselves anyway. Do you like this video? If you like the video and you think it's useful to you, share it with your friends, leave a comment. We love to read them, and sign up to subscribe to my channel. And if you want the video delivered to your inbox every week, you got to, what do they do? Smash it and then pull I never get it right because I've never been on there. If there's a bell, and you're going to get my videos. If you do discover that you've been in resistance to moving forward in your life, and you've told yourself a story that you can't because somebody else took yours away, or because this is happening, or if that wasn't happening, I'd be fine, or if this didn't happen, like many of us do that. So instead of being bad you, like, it's like, oh wow, this is an old wound. This is why I'm telling this tall tale. This is why I have to regroup. This is why, because I need to love myself and others regardless of the circumstances that have kind of caught me like a fly in a spider's web. Right? So we have to remember that nothing is ever wasted. And the beautiful thing is to keep a higher view. The seventh card is card 41, and I'll go through them again with you. Card 41, which is the higher view, which is asking us all to be in the witness position. The sixth energy center, which is imagination and intuition. So it asks us to have that higher imagination when we are inspired by spirit, and we are coming from that angle of spirituality where we're looking through the lens of our higher self instead of our ego self that sees through the lens of scarcity and combat, etc. So coming back to the front, let's go back to the beginning again. So we have Shining Through, which is card 39. If you guys want to, or card 30, sorry, I can't see properly. If you want to look it up in your own deck. Card 30, which is the fifth energy center. Then we have card number 3, which is the first energy center, remember, relating to the past. So we see Shining Through, shine on behalf of the divine. How do you shine on behalf of the divine is the theme for the week. And all the rest of the cards, the next 6 cards, tell us how. Second card is don't define yourself by your past conditioning. Third card, don't tell any tall tales, which is to yourself, right? You could be in big denial about, you know, the ways you think the world has victimized you. Or you could be actually looking at it and going, I want to change it. I need to be the change. The fourth card, so that's also back to this energy center. Then the fourth card, which is the energy center of the third one, which is really about the right to be our unique, authentic selves. That's what story do you want to tell? Since we don't want to tell the tall tale to ourselves and others, let's tell, oh, I want to be this person. I want, right? I remember somebody saying to me, I really want to be loved. I'm like, yeah, but you don't love people. It's like, if you want to be loved, you got to love other people. So it's like, oh, that's a different way to see it, right? And so can we turn things around this week to remember, we're here to shine on behalf of the divine, not on behalf of the small self. Okay, so back to the power of purpose. So we are here. What is all of our purpose? People say, I need to find my purpose. Our purpose is to shine on behalf of the divine. And our purpose, every single person's purpose, is to be the unique self that you were here to be. Now, yes, we are going to have wounds we need to heal. Okay, but there is a higher self that wants to co-create the world through you. And so this power of purpose is to bring that in and say, like, who am I really? Who am I really? How many amazing gifts and skills and talents I have, and what have I preventing myself to do? A lot of people are scared of success, for example. You know, oh, well, if I attempt it and it fails, well, then I have nobody to blame. Who cares? Life is short. Jump in, do whatever. Now, healing the heart. This card here, it comes right after all of that. You know, you might realize that, wow, I still am operating out of some old wounds. And healing the heart, card number 23, which is the energy center of the heart, which, by the way, is where we started last weekend. We didn't start at the base or the spirit. We started with the heart. We do need to forgive ourselves and others. Nothing to condone. It's not like being blameless. You have to be accountable. But ultimately, you want to set yourself free from the old stories. And then the higher view is like, woo, spirit can work through me. If I allow my imagination to be in service of the divine, what amazing things could I co-create this week? Amazing week. 7 Energies Oracle is already now, and you should get it. You should get it. It's available. If you loved this video, because I know you did, share it with your friends, and like the video, and like my page, and leave a comment. We love to read them. Okay, well, shoot out the door.
Shoo, fly. Shoo. Get out of here.
We don't
fly.
kill things.
No.